good. Sweet.
Hi, what's up guys? Here we're doing today.
How's it going?
Maybe you quickly want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Joe Delaney. Suppose I'm part of the fitness industry in the sense that that's how I make my money. I also have a YouTube channel which is a little bit smaller, 15,000 subs we hit last night. I'd like to think not your typical fitness shit, but who knows, maybe I'm flattering myself. Man.
Nah.
You don't know, man. But I think if you head over there, watch a couple of videos, you'll get the gist of it pretty quick anyway. Yeah.
Definitely, man. So what I wanted to talk about in today's video is basically like how to combine fitness and partying, drinking alcohol, everything like that. Now I don't really structure my videos. We didn't plan anything. This is just kind of an idea I want to discuss with him because he is basically the king of combining all that. In my opinion, shredded as fuck, and he still parties a lot. You know, you've been in X on Ibiza,
Yeah.
X on the beach, MTV, and all that kind of shit. So I wanted to kind of like get your opinion on how you make all that work.
Yeah, well, you know, I think you probably give me a little bit too much credit to begin with, because if you actually look back over, you know, say if you scroll back through my Instagram, you would see differences in my physique. It's not that I have this secret technique of you can do whatever you want. You can go out, party for weeks on end, and just come back in shape. You know,
Exactly.
You see some people doing that, right, or close to that. But if we can be frank, if we can be blunt about it, there's no real way to fully get away with it, especially if you're gonna stay natural. You know, because anyone can lose a bit of fat, right? Cutting's the easy part. So you know, you drink a bit, you eat a bit of shit the next day, you gain a bit of weight, you gain a bit of body fat. You can lose that again, and you know, go into a deficit for a little while. You can get rid of that pretty easily, and it's quite, you know, you can rectify that without too much trouble. But the thing is, when you're partying, you know, you're dancing, drinking, it's more the fact that you're losing gains, not just in the sense of, you know, you might have a day off the party or whatever, but even when you get back to it and get back on your split, you know, the first day back training, if you look at your lifts from the week before, you're doing really fucking well if you can maintain those.
Definitely.
You know, if you go back onto, say, your leg day and you can squat what you were squatting the week before, having been out on the weekend, and you teach me the ways, you know, because I cannot do that, and that's where you have to, that's where, you know, it really impacts you, the whole partying thing. But I think that being the case, you need to probably focus on, there's probably two things. There's your damage limitation when you're partying. So just trying to keep a rough track on your macros, trying to keep your protein high when you can. If your split is being affected, like say if I'm away or something, or you know, and I'm not going to get to the gym as often as I usually would, then
it's smart to do like full body.
Exactly, yeah. I'll condense my split down. You know, sacrifice a bit of volume to try and keep the frequency up and try and keep all muscle groups hit. So there's that whole side of it. There's your damage limitation, and then the other side is when you are not partying and when you are in a solid routine, you need to be fucking on it. Like so you need to make the most of that time. Even if you've got nothing coming up on the horizon, you know, when you have the ability to get in a really good routine, stick to your program for a while, stay on point with your macros or whatever, and you have that opportunity because the way your circumstances are, you have, you know, the routine that is conducive to that, then you really need to make the most of that, just because at some point life is going to happen to you and it's going to get inconvenient, and you're going to wish that you made the most of it, you know, when you could, because you know, and I think that's the main bulk of it. But also, you've got to just not be too, hung up on losing. Maybe you're not gonna make optimal progress, but
also what you're saying right now is like drinking a lot, right? Like every few days a week. But let's just say theoretically that you drink like once a week. I believe it's definitely possible to keep making gains. Yeah. Maybe not in the best sense, but still like possible.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. I mean, if you're doing that, you have to accept that it's going to be suboptimal to an extent.
Yeah, definitely.
And to what extent depends how hard you go when you're drinking. If you're doing major binge drinking, because drinking once a week isn't just drinking once a week. There's a big difference between a few drinks, sociable drinks with your mates, and just getting absolutely obliterated.
It's kind of the same, like a refeed day
move for 2 days.
Like fucking a cheat day, doing fucking 20,000 calories.
So there's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah.
And ask yourself what do you need to do, man? Because half the reason that half the people drink so much is because they get caught up in the idea that every drink is going to make my night better, and the more fucked I get, the more enjoyable my night is going to be. But I think with anything, there's diminished returns as with your training.
Yeah,
maybe 1 drink, 2 drinks, nice, you're having some fun, you loosen up, whatever. Once you're getting 5, 6, 7, 8, is that really, is that giving you a better night, or is it just fucking the rest of your week? And so that's just down to personal preference, man. I'm not a big fan of like regular drinking. I mean, you can do it,
I agree,
man, and you can make some gains, and especially if you're young and in the prime of your life, and like I say, making the most of your training when you are training. Because people go right through uni drinking every weekend and they still make gains, because you're a young male or female, whatever, and you're in your absolute prime, and you should be able to do that.
Have fun, right?
But just
that's kind of the message that I want to
accept that.
Yeah, it's kind of the message that I always want to spread. Is like, you may not be the best looking guy, you may not be the fucking fitness model, but you can still enjoy your life and get some type of shredded.
Of course,
right? And you will not be on top of your game, but you can still look better than 95% of the people on the planet, right?
Of course, right? Yeah.
That's kind of like the point I always want to.
That's another thing, man. It depends on what you want to maintain, because if you're watching these videos, you probably follow a lot of fitness people on Instagram, right? And it's easy to get in the mentality of, well, I need to look like a American men's physique. I need to look like Jeremy Buendia, and that's what's gonna like get me babes on the beach. Exactly. But it's in reality, it's not.
He's kind of proof that it's not.
And that's hard. And that's hard. It's hard to keep your actual idea of what you want from being too influenced, each way into by who you follow or whatever. And so, no one's maintaining Jeremy Buendia's physique going out drinking a lot, but you can maintain an athletic physique that looks good and is fairly functional. And the better thing about that is, as well, for me, it just looks less try hard. It looks less, you turn up on the beach like 200 pounds and shredded, and everyone thinks in their head, this is like he's waited for this moment his whole life. This is what he's training for. Like.
Exactly.
But you just turn up, you're just casual. You're in decent shape. You got some abs, some semblance of some fucking arms, legs, a decent proportion. And that's just a physique that's much more manageable and maintainable, isn't it? Throughout, your whole.
And your whole life will be better in that way.
Well, I think so because, it's just that.
Is life really about being the fucking most shredded and biggest you can ever be? Is that what life's about?
Exactly, man.
That's kind of what you gotta ask yourself sometimes.
So it's cheesy, but people say, it's about the journey, and and in a way, just because it's cheesy doesn't mean it's not true,
it's
man.
Definitely true.
Because you get caught up on an end point. When I look like this, I'll be sweet. When I look like this, I'll be happy. And you just you lose the ability to enjoy how you are, man. Sometimes I look at myself and I think, you look fucking decent for the shit that you've done. Because if you look at the actual the different countries and places, the amount of times I've moved fucking beds, I've had more different beds than hot dinners, man. you know, and you know, don't take away from your own. It's okay to say, well, you know what, I've done all right because I've managed to balance a fair, you know,
Definitely.
to balance and choose my own kind of, you know, well, just what I think is a good optimal life in terms of, you know, you could put all your focus into your physique, but obviously it's going to detriment other areas.
Exactly.
And you can put all your focus into partying and you'll have a fucking great time, man. But then that's going to detriment other areas, and everything just comes back to getting some kind of balance that you are, you know, happy with, and that provides you with the things that you want. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly
because
right, man.
Because
Exactly.
that's what you get down to. Really, it's about knowing what you actually want. Like for me, you know, I could put more effort into my physique and do less kind of sociable shit, and probably end up making more money, and you know, and I could put more focus on my work. I'm not one of these people who's like, yeah, fucking get up at 6 a.m, grind till fucking, you know, 12 p.m, and then sleep for 4 hours, and then I'm a robot, you know. I'm not one of these
everybody
people,
is different.
and I think it's okay to admit that I want to work less than some other people, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And
that's
like,
the balance you gotta find, right?
Exactly. So, you know, knowing that balance is you know, it's a good thing to be able to kind of get a solid idea of in your head, and then you know where to put all your focus, you know, because like people throw cheesy shit around Instagram, man. People say, you know, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. What the fuck does that even mean, man? Who is anyone to judge what you want, man? I want enough money to live. I want to travel around, see some shit, experience some shit, meet people who are like-minded, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, man. I don't want a fucking. I actually don't want an R8, man. You know. At some point I might,
Yeah.
and then I'll get my head down and do some more fucking work, you know.
It would be nice to have it,
of
but
course.
it's not like your life is about it, you know.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
like-
I'm not saying like let's all be a hippie and denounce materialism.
Nah, I get your point, man.
You can enjoy shit.
That's not gonna make your life
You can
better.
enjoy shit as long as you place the right amount of importance on it, man.
And yeah, that's the same thing with fitness.
But
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. I think
It's exactly the same.
that's what I think fitness is great for. It's a great example of many different kind of ideas that translate into overall life, isn't it? You know.
That's why I believe, you know, fitness should be used to improve your life instead of be your life. You know what I'm saying? Even like we both make money off of fitness. This is our job, literally, and we still like it's still not our whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You should find a balance, really.
Of course, yeah. It all comes down to that. Like you say, that's a big one, isn't it? You want it always to be enjoyable and to enhance your life, rather than to take away from it. And you know,
I've had this experience myself, you know, where all I wanted was getting bigger or getting more shredded, you know, and it fucks you up. Like,
well, it does until you get to that point where you actually start getting a bit of patience, don't you? And you feel a lot less rushed. Like,
exactly.
I feel like maybe I could lose a couple of pounds and maybe I could drop my body fat down a bit, and I could do with doing a bit of bulk as well. But I'm patient. I'm not in this urgent quest to get to the next bit, and so that just allows you to enjoy things a lot more, doesn't it? And you know, it's really, there's something to be said for finding that point, and it's hard to get to. It took me years to get there, like literally almost a decade to get to that point. But like
that's also
like
the thing about not taking a shortcut, right?
Yeah. Like
if you're not taking a shortcut, it's gonna take a long time. You have to fucking accept that it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna literally take years.
Of course.
To get the physique that you want. That's why you wanna keep enjoying your life, because it's gonna take so fucking long.
Exactly.
Otherwise, like, it's gonna be your whole life. You know?
Well, that comes back to the whole journey thing. You know, the journey lasts 99.9% of your life.
You will never be satisfied.
And the destination is your deathbed. So what are you going to enjoy?
Exactly.
Boys,
so I guess that's where we end the video, man.
Yes.
Or do you have anything to add?
No, I'm good with that. I'll talk for everything.
Yeah, so I think we got it, man.
Yeah, I'm terrible for. Apologies if I talked over or continued.
Nah, man, it was kind of like
rambled a lot.
It was kind of like my idea.
I do that.
His English is better, and I thought his input would be cool. So I think we kind of discussed it. We got over it, and this is definitely the way you want to approach it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we got some good shit.
Yeah, definitely. So I gotta end the video here, guys. This is Joey Delaney. If you guys want to give him a follow on YouTube, I'll put the link in the description box down below. His channel is Joey Delaney, Shred Bunny on Instagram. And thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, make sure to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for having me. Peace.
See you in the next video.
Sweet.